F had seen the picture many times, worn edges, faded colors, and a woman standing beside a tree with the sun in her eyes. That woman was her mother. And that was all she had. She never heard her mother's voice. Never felt her arms. Only that photo, and the whispers of the village. They never said much, but their eyes spoke. She is the one, they seemed to say. The daughter of Ada. And that was enough to make F feel like a stranger in her own home. People didn't talk about Ada. And if they did, it was only with silence wrapped in shame. But that morning, as the rain tapped softly on the roof, and the air smelled of smoke and wet earth, Mama Nkem called F to sit by the fire. The old woman looked tired. Her voice, though soft, carried something heavy. You are grown now, F, she said slowly. And the time has come for you to know the truth. F's heart beat faster. She didn't speak. She just listened. Your mother, Mama began, was not a weak woman. She was like the wind, wild, free, and full of power. F had heard people call her mother stubborn, proud, disgraced, but never powerful. Mama's eyes glistened with memory. Her name was Ada. She was the kind of woman who walked into a room and changed it. She worked harder than any man in the fields. She spoke her mind. She helped the widows. She protected the orphans. But not everyone liked her strength. And one day, Ede fell in love. His name was Kelly, the son of Chief Dugo. He was quiet, thoughtful, and drawn to Ada like the sea is drawn to the moon. They met often by the river, laughing, dreaming, forgetting the rules of the world around them. They made promises. Talked about marriage. A life together. But love in secret is like a flower growing in dry soil. Beautiful, but always in danger. When the chief found out, his anger shook the village. He had plans for his son, a marriage to a rich girl from a neighboring village. A connection to wealth. To power. Ada, the farmer's daughter, was not part of the plan. He told Kelly to forget her. And Kelly said nothing. He loved Ada, but he feared his father more. And so, Ada was left alone. But she wasn't empty. She was carrying a child. She was carrying F. The same day she told Kelly about the baby was the last day she saw him. Shame came like a storm. People stopped greeting her. Some crossed the road when she passed. Even friends turned their backs. And when she could take no more, Ede packed her bag, tied her wrapper, and left the village before sunrise. No farewell. No noise. Just silence. She built a small life in another village. Gave birth to F in a tiny room with no midwife, no help, only faith. And she raised her daughter with stories and songs, until sickness took her too soon. F had never heard this story. And now, hearing it from Mama's lips, her chest felt heavy, but her heart burned. All this time, she whispered. I thought she left in shame. But she left in courage. Mama Nkem nodded. She left to protect you. But silence does not bury truth. It waits. F wiped her tears and stood. I want her name to live again. She walked to the chief's palace the next morning, not with anger, but with purpose. The guards let her through. Something in her face reminded them of someone they once feared, and maybe respected. The chief, now older, sat on a wooden chair with eyes that had seen too much. When he saw F, his mouth opened slightly. You look just like her. F's voice didn't shake. I am F, she said. Ada's daughter. I've come for the truth. The chief looked down at the floor. Your mother, she was the best of us. I didn't see it then. I was too proud. Too blind. I thought I was protecting my family, but I broke it. F took a slow breath. She never hated you, she said. She just wanted to be heard. She should have stayed, he whispered. No, F replied gently. You should have stood beside her. The silence that followed was long but not cold. It was a silence filled with regret. That evening, a message was sent across the village. Everyone was invited to gather under the old Iroko tree. They came with their mats, their children, their quiet curiosity. Mom and Kem stood with F, holding her hand. And when F stepped forward, there was no tremble in her voice. You all remember my mother, she began. But not all of you remember her truth. She was strong. She was kind. And she loved. But when she loved, she was punished. When she stood up, she was pushed down. But she gave life. She gave me. And I will not let her story be forgotten. She paused and looked at the people, old men who once turned their backs, women who once whispered, children who had never heard her mother's name. She did not leave because she was guilty, F said. She left because she was brave. There was silence. Then one hand began to clap. Then another. Then the chief stood, slowly, leaning on his staff. Ada was our daughter, he said. And we failed her. But today, we remember her with honor. At sunset, F walked to a quiet place by the river. There, beneath a mango tree, lay her mother's grave. Simple. Untouched. Peaceful. She knelt and placed fresh flowers by the headstone. I am not afraid anymore, she whispered. Your story is alive. I am your voice now. The wind moved gently through the leaves. The river flowed quietly beside her. And for the first time in many years, the village spoke Ada's name with love, not shame. Sometimes, the past does not die. It waits for someone brave enough to carry it forward. And F. She was her mother's daughter. Her mother's voice. Her mother's second chance.